Come, gather round, everyone. They're about to talk Disney. I am still so confused as to whether I'm going to eat at Connections or Creations. So the only way I can keep them straight is I have to think, okay, well, my mouth connects to my stomach, so I guess that's Connections.
So I call Catherine to see how dinner at the restaurant is going, and she says, I can't talk to you right now. I'm talking to Mickey. So I'm like, okay, here's the big cheese. I get it. And then she says, hold on, he wants to talk to you. So she FaceTimes me, and I'm FaceTiming with Mickey as I'm getting ready for the podcast.
I don't understand why people spend hard-earned money on a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the parks. I mean, we literally all have ice cream sandwiches in our freezers at home. We don't have Mickey bars. From the mind and creator of the Disney YouTube channel Living in Diz comes a whole new Disney podcast. Okay, can we talk some serious Disney here now? Nope. Get ready for all the Disney knowledge that you can handle. It's Corey. It's Lawrence. It's the Diz Pod.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Diz Pod. Still ranking number 7 in the universe.
8.
What did we do to drop to number 8? What did we do?
Know. I don't know.
You know what? It could have been the fact that we weren't live last week, right?
Probably. I'll go with that one.
Yeah, let's go with that. Hello, everyone. We are live on the Diz Pod. We are live because we do it for you. You asked for it. We gave it to you. And it's a lot of fun. So welcome in everyone in chat. Definitely hit the like button if you are, well, you can hit the like button even if you're listening later. And of course you can listen. You can catch us now on, we're not current yet with the current episodes, but we are getting close to be on Spotify like next day.
Yep, very close. Okay. I think there's 3 more to do, and then we'll do our show on Wednesday nights, and then on Spotify and iHeartRadio and all that, it'll be live the next day.
Beautiful. Are we on Apple as well?
Yes.
Perfect.
That's actually the biggest.
Oh, okay. We'll have to talk numbers later.
Yeah.
Lawrence is like my numbers man. I wouldn't know half these things if he didn't come to me. Which we started to do something else. We are always on the cutting edge of streaming. We're always doing things. We do a lot of things first, and now we're doing vertical live streams for a little while in the parks. And we tested it the other day, and we didn't even talk about what our expectations were for how many subscribers maybe we think we'd get from the vertical. If you asked me, I would have said 2. Right. Maybe would be good.
Yeah.
And we got 21. So we're going to continue that experiment. And
Absolutely.
Neil even said that he would take the gimbal during the week and do a little vertical.
Okay. All right.
Hey, it'll give him his own gimbal to walk and talk. There you go. Have fun with that. Yes. We love Neil. So Neil couldn't be with us even in the chat tonight because he just got called for a gig. So he's got to go blow his horn somewhere.
All right.
In the next, maybe he's blowing it now. Who knows?
Yeah.
So quickly. Oh yeah. So we have a special. I don't even want to call her a guest because she is going to come on in whenever she feels like she needs to share important news with all of you when it comes to allergies and dealing with allergies in Disney. We've been talking about her for a couple of weeks now, and we're very excited and proud to have her. We're going to bring her in. This is Ashley, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, Ashley.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
We're honored to have you. I'm so glad that I could tell that you were very excited when we exchanged some messages, and I was like, yes, 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 yes. This is so good for us. And we've had her down in the description, everybody, for years, and there's been times over the years where allergies come up, and I just remember, and I'm like, just check down below and check out Ashley's links. So she's still there. She'll stay there, and her Instagram is Disney Allergies with Ashley, and she has a great Instagram. Go over there and check it out, especially if you have allergies and you're wondering for yourself or a loved one or friends. Very, very helpful, and it comes with somebody with allergies. So have you had these food allergies all your life, or when did they start to develop?
Developed when I was younger, but then I got a test done back in 2017. It was an allergy test where they do the labeling on your arm. And of course, I found out that I adapted into some pretty funky ones, green peas and peaches. And green peas is actually in a lot of substitutes for gluten and soy free items. So, say I go to a festival and they're like, well, it's gluten and soy free, there may be pea protein. So, I have to be extremely careful when I go to the parks just because that is something I've noticed that's very common as a substitute now.
What will happen, for example, with something like that?
So good news is I'm not anaphylactic in terms of my throat will close up, but I do have everything in terms of reaction in my stomach. So everything comes up, or I've had a reaction to the point where my stomach just kind of like stops and turns into like a rock. I had a really scary cross contamination accident, I want to say like 3, 4 years ago from chicken nuggets. And I had to go to the hospital and get put on medicine because I couldn't even bend. My stomach just like stopped itself pretty much because it wasn't letting it process. So again, not anaphylactic, but is to the point where it is very scary.
That is scary. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Um, Neil, who walks around with me a lot, good friend of ours. If you haven't seen him on the stream, with his wife, and she is allergic to gluten, and I for now, up to this point, I haven't had to worry about food. I love food. I love trying all the foods in Disney. So you got to be appreciative of the freedom to be able to do that. I can't imagine having to watch every single thing that you
Hmm.
put in your mouth before you do it.
Yeah, I will say
So,
Disney is excellent with food allergies. Anytime I go to a sit down restaurant, they have the chef coming right out to the table. They are willing to show you ingredient lists. So if you're someone who's a little bit more weary and needs to that comfort of reading each individual ingredient, chefs are more than willing to do that for you. So I will say every time I go, they exceed my expectations.
yeah, that's great. That's really important. Um, Let me think. So, Food and Wine Festival just came out, or just came. Oh,
Mhm.
so I always say that Food and Wine because it starts with an F. Flower and Garden is here,
Yes.
and we always do a show where we preview the menu and we get
Yes.
excited about what we want to try and things like that. What have you found so far in your trips to Flower and Garden, as far as what people can look forward to?
I will say, so with gluten and soy being my top two most severe allergies, that thankfully is on the food allergy menu. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but if you go to the My Disney Experience app and you type in flower and garden, there is actually an allergy list offering for every single booth, and it will tell you the top 8 allergens. So if you're in that top 8 bracket, you actually are able to look and say, okay, well, maybe I can have something in Germany. Okay, great. I see something that's safe for gluten. I'm going to go try X, Y, and Z. But a lot of people don't know that. So I do like to preface that because, some people don't want to walk all the way around the whole world showcase to see what is an option for them. So that eliminates that time for guests to just go right onto the app and do that.
I didn't know that. Did you know that, Lawrence?
No idea.
Did anyone in chat know that? That's watching live. That's great information right there. Off the top of your head, do you know how you would navigate that? I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, of course. So you're going to go to the My Disney Experience app. You're going to go to that little search icon at the bottom corner. You're going to type in flower and garden. And then if it doesn't come up right away, you can add food allergy and then it will say food allergy menu. You click right on it and then you're able to just scroll through and it will show you each booth and then it will specifically say the top 8 allergens. So it will say safe for egg, gluten, soy, whatever it is safe for. If it doesn't say the allergy, that means it is not safe for that food.
Oh, okay. Looking forward to checking that out. That's really cool. That's really good. Do you think that, I mean, I don't know how far back we want to go. Let's just say you can go as far back as you want to go. Has Disney always been conscious of these things to this level, or is it constantly improving, you think?
I would definitely say it's constantly improving. For me, always having stomach problems, my parents had purchased into Disney Vacation Club. So for us, we always had the luxury of a full kitchen. So if there was ever an issue or where I didn't feel comfortable, say eating lunch at the pool, I had the kitchen as an option for me. So through time, and I think Disney's research and development, I think I've seen drastic improvement, especially with the festivals within, I would say, the past couple of years, especially starting from the pandemic.
Yeah, and that probably comes hand in hand too with the fact that I guess would we say that allergies? I don't know if if restaurants and businesses are becoming more aware of them. Maybe they're more in the forefront now than they used to be. Am I on track there with that?
I think so. I think it depends on location. I would say sometimes with third party at Disney, it just depends on the retailer. An example would be, I don't know if you've ever been to this property, but the Dolphin has a new
Yes.
restaurant called Rosa Mexicano. They are fantastic with food allergies there. So if anyone's interested, the chef will can come out to you, speak with you. Again, I have 5 food allergies, makes it a little more difficult. Every time I've been there, I've been impressed with the staff.
That's good to know. Um, and it sounds like, especially being Disney, that you get that. Do you feel like you get that treatment everywhere you go?
At Disney World, yes. I will say, being a local to the parks, I feel a little bit spoiled because when you go to Disney, they take that extra step of comfortability with you. So I really do most of my eating if it's any sort of sit down quick service within the parks area.
Okay. Um, let's see. Do you have any questions for Ashley, Lawrence? And Lawrence just pulled up the screen there, and that looks amazing right there. I love that. That makes it so easy for you.
It
Yeah.
does.
So people that are listening, like if you stop there, go down just a little bit, down, all down, like bring it down right there, because I see beef tenderloin tips, and I like that. So for people that can't see it and are just listening on some of the other outlets or the YouTube Music app, if you look under Northern Bloom, which is in Canada, you get the beef tenderloin tips with mushroom bordelaise sauce, whipped potatoes, and garden vegetables, which is just amazed is. Love that. And down below, just below that, it'll say the allergies are for egg, gluten wheat, peanut. It's a little small, but peanut, tree nuts, and shellfish allergies. So I'm going to play stupid because sometimes I am. Does that mean if you have those, you can't eat it or you can? Oh, it says allergy friendly, so you can.
Correct.
Okay. And
Oh,
when you're looking at the list of that, so I guess that's it. I don't know why I feel confused on that. I guess that's it. As long as it's listed, you can eat it.
Right. And I understand the confusion because sometimes people will see that and think, oh, well, this is actually what it contains. I also
That's what
like to
confused
preface,
me. Yeah.
right. I also like to preface with Disney, if you have a severe allergy, any form of anaphylaxis, if cross contamination is an issue, always speak to a cast member, whether it is a festival, a quick service, or a sit down, because that is something they will also ask you as well.
now I would think the nature of the Flower and Garden festival, there would be more allergy friendly eats at that festival than the others. Is that true or?
I would absolutely agree with you on that. I would say the least accommodating festival, and this is kind of shocking, would be Festival of the Arts. That is the one for me in particular with the five that I would say I have the least amount of options. For the most, it would be flower and garden, and then under that would be food and wine. And then it would go Festival of the Holidays, and then Festival of the Arts would be last.
And why do you think that is, that the others don't have as many? I mean,
I don't
obviously the nature of flower and garden, but
Right. I think with Flower and Garden, of course, it's more farm to table in terms of food that they're making. But gluten and soy is very common. And I did speak to a chef once at Garden Grill. Those are the easier things for them to obtain as a company. When you start doing modifications, it does get more difficult for food to be made. So if they're thinking about fast tracking the process for lines and getting more business, of course, they're going to go with the easier option, which would be the gluten, the soy, whatever it may be, then a substitute of maybe a rice flour or whatever they're thinking.
wow.
So how about and we won't keep you too much longer. Ashley was kind enough to be with us tonight, everybody. It's her dad's birthday, so happy birthday to her dad, and thank you for still coming on. I
Oh, of
appreciate
course.
that. How was that for? Okay, so soon you'll be married, married in Disney. She's getting married in Disney. Everybody, are you going to get married in the pavilion over there at the Grand Floridian, or are you going to? Are you? Where's the ceremony and all that taking place?
So we're getting married at the Eureka Lawn, which is at the Four Seasons property. It's so beautiful. It's
Okay.
very intimate and small, and I'm really excited. We're gonna have Chip and Dale at the wedding because those are my favorite Disney characters. So we just got that finalized. So they'll be making a little appearance. I got to help pick out their outfits and their backdrop for their meet and greet. So that's definitely the what I'm most excited for, of course, aside from marrying my fiance, but I love Chip and Dale. So.
That is crazy. I didn't know that that's how that went. So, did you have a list of characters that you could choose from?
Yeah, so it depends on location because the Four Seasons is technically on property but off property. There's only X amount of characters that they are allowed to have there. So Chip and Dale were on that list and they are my favorites. I do have a twin sister. She's my Dale, I'm her Chip. So
Uh,
I just felt like I had to have them there on my special day.
that is awesome. Who else was on the list?
Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, more like your Fab Five. Not
Okay.
really much of like face characters. Face characters, I would say, are more geared towards like Magic Kingdom, any of the theme parks in itself.
Wow, that's pretty cool. It's so funny because at the end of the live stream the other night, towards the end, I was at the Grand Floridian and we looked at all the Easter eggs. And then I walked the path past the, is that, did they call it the wedding pavilion? The little,
Yes.
Mhm.
yeah, it caught my eye. I've never walked over to that little building to the right, and it was not completely dark in there. There was some spotlights, and it was spotlighting this huge wedding cake. And I was like, guys, let's go over here and take a look in these windows. It's amazing in there. I don't know if
Hmm.
you've looked in that window, but wow, wow. If you could only dream. I'm like, imagine if you just walk in there and anything, you could have anything in there, anything they show you. Money's not an object. The chat love that. That would be pretty cool. Wow, that's awesome. And I guess the last question I would have is leading into that. So at some point, I don't know if it's now. You don't even have to answer, but you're gonna be married and you'll be living together, and so food will be shared. So how will that work for you? Will your husband just go right along with what are you going to eat what's good for you all the time, or you're not going to cook two separate dinners? What's going to happen there with the food?
We actually already live together and he is
Okay.
phenomenal. I will say prior to being with me, there wasn't an education of food allergies, which is pretty typical. If you don't know someone with food allergies, it's not
Yeah.
something you even think about until you have someone in your life where you're seeing the modifications, you're seeing the stress of someone sitting down and being like, is this safe for this? Are you sure? Is there cross contamination? But he is nothing but excellent. I love him so much. He goes food shopping with me. He's always triple checking labels to make sure that everything is
Oh,
safe. So, yeah, I got a good one. He's awesome.
like we would say in Massachusetts, he's a keeper.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to let you go. We could talk forever, and we will talk more and more and more in the
Yes.
future. Thank allergies for being here. Thank Ashley for being here, everyone. we love having you, and we look forward to seeing you in the future to keep us on top of all things allergies that are happening out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. We'll talk soon.
All right,
Thanks,
everyone.
Ashley.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. That's Ashley, and you can go over to Instagram and just look up Disney Allergies with Ashley. I always pause because I think it's the two A's that throw me off.
Mm.
Like the C's do in Epcot, creations.
Yeah.
So, I always double check that I do it right, that I say it correctly. So, it's definitely Disney Allergies with Ashley. So, follow her, everyone. Go over and follow her, and she'll pop up whenever she finds something good to report. And we'll have her here periodically. So when she finds something that she feels like she wants to share, we'll pop out Ashley on.
I mean, just in her first appearance, she already gave us a great tip on all you got to do is go and search. And she mentioned the app. I went to the website and pulled it up. It's the very same thing. So that would be a great place for anybody with allergies to start, just to search to see what booths have what. And I'm sure if the booths are on there, the restaurants are on there as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you would think so, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's on Instagram. Just find her on Instagram, just like that. Anne says she was very informative. She was great. First time on, she was awesome. She couldn't have been better. So
Yeah.
thanks again, Ashley. And we'll have her back many, many times. And her link is always down below in our description down there, too. So you can always click on that, and it should take you right to Instagram. If it doesn't, let me know. That was a very interesting topic, says Steve. So, shirt-wise, this was made by the DizPod wardrobe department. We've got a bunch of animals there, and I thought it would be appropriate to wear the animal hat to match today. And I love your Mickey with the palm trees. I'm going to guess that was not made by the wardrobe.
This one was not. No, this one wasn't.
I'm going to tell you why I think so.
Go ahead.
Well, two things. I was going to be smart and say something else, but I'm not going to say that. But it maybe it doesn't match up as well as our department would match everything up.
That's right.
Logo, the pictures.
Yeah.
But it looks to me like I feel like it's one of those Tommy Bahama kind of shirts.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I want to say
It looks
like
like
a Kohl's, not a
it's a Kohl's.
Tommy Bahama.
Not a Tommy Bahama.
No.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. So back to business. Why we are here. The other reasons why we're here is the Disney dining plan worth it? Lawrence had a chance to go out last week, and you all saw it unfold as he took over the channel while we would have just been home for a few days. It was our normally scheduled time to not be live in the parks between Tuesday and Friday. And Lawrence happened to be there, and he treated you all to some bonus streams. So let us know what you learned.
Well, I learned a lot.
I'm just going to sit back and relax and drink my LID special from Starbucks on Main Street.
I learned a lot about the dining plan, about streaming, about Haunted Mansion taking down your entire stream. So,
which I didn't even know that day. I decided not to watch this. Was that Friday?
Yes. Yeah.
Not that I didn't decide not to watch the stream, but we had watched almost everything you guys did. So
Yeah.
Friday, Jill and I had a daddy-daughter day. I guess we can go into that in the parks after. But we were just away, so yeah, we had a good time. So I didn't even know that happened till the end of the stream when you mentioned it.
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Excuse me. So, so the reason that we did the dining plan, because I've always really been against the dining plan unless it was included in the package. You know, the free when they do the free dining plan promo. I always thought it's not going to be worth it. I'm not going to eat that much food. So our friends, Melanie and Paul, who you saw on stream with us, so we were going as part of their package. So we stayed in the All-Star Family Suites. And so they wanted to get the dining plan. And so I said, well, let me know how much it is, and I'll decide on whether we want to do it or not. And when they gave us the price, I was like, oh, it's not a bad price because they got a good discount on the room. So paying a little bit more for the food, I'm like, okay, whatever. And I said, well, it'll be great, research to see if it's truly worth it. So we were staying for 5 days or 5 nights. So we had we had decided on the full dining plan, not the quick serve. And let me see if I can bring this up for you. And
I just brought some up.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to just say quickly, Spencer and Fam. Blast the chat for Spencer and Fam, everybody, for that $9.99 super chat. And he says, thanks for being the A-team of podcasts and live streams. Corey and Lawrence, we very much appreciate all that you do, all that you two do for this community. Kungaloosh, FWIW. What does that mean? Disney dining plan doesn't work for a family of 4, he said.
I don't know. Somebody's going to have to, man, we are old. Somebody's going to have to tell us what that means.
I'm not good with letters together like that.
Super
Thank you so much, Spencer. We always appreciate our guy, Spencer. Excuse me, what happened to my voice?
So let me bring up. All right. So the plan that we went with, you get 1 quick serve meal per night of stay, 1 table service meal, 1 snack, and 1 resort refillable mug for the whole time that you're there. So first thing we did was pick up our resort mug on Monday. And for what it's worth. That's what FWIW means.
Oh, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Thank you. You and I are the only ones that didn't know that.
Yeah. Everybody else is like, what's wrong with them? They don't know that.
Hey, Grandma Grover.
And so what we did is we booked 60 days out to make sure that we got some of the restaurants, the sit-down restaurants that we wanted to. And we got some pretty good ones, I would say. So beverages included in the meal. For guests 21 and over, you can actually get an alcoholic beverage as well. So we took advantage of that. And of course, they recommend getting reservations at table service, which you should always do that. It has to be purchased for the entire length of stay. So we were 5 nights, so we got 5 days worth of meals. Let's see, the non-transferable. And let's go to the next one. So at a quick service meal, you're going to get 1 entree, 1 non-alcoholic beverage, or if you're 21 and over, you can get a beer or wine or mixed drink. Table service is an entree and a non-alcoholic beverage or alcoholic if you're over 21. And you get a dessert with that as well. So we certainly enjoyed that for sure. One of the things that Catherine and I wanted to do was use this plan to eat at different places that we had not eaten before. And for the sit-down restaurants, we definitely did that. I think for the quick service, we probably ate at some places that we had before.
Pretty sure.
So first night, we went to Polite Pig over in Disney Springs. And because we were out of the parks that night. So we got there early enough. We went to Polite Pig. Catherine had a wrap and some good mac and cheese there. I had a smoked BLT, which was really, really good. And the good thing, actually, one of the cast members at our hotel told us before we went that Polite Pig is almost like a sit-down restaurant, but it's not. It's a quick serve, so it only took a quick serve. So that first night we didn't use our sit-down meal. The first day in the parks, we went to Mama Melrose. I had the chicken parmesan. Catherine had the steak. I will say this, I had never eaten at Mama Melrose, neither of us had, and we absolutely loved Mama Melrose. We will eat there again for sure. Uh, Definitely enjoyable food. The atmosphere was good. The bread was good. Um, just I don't know what I thought it was going to be like because I didn't like see any pictures of it beforehand. So I wasn't quite sure, but this was really really good.
We actually have a reservation for Mama Melrose's this Saturday for Tammy's birthday stream. I'm holding it because we're waiting to see if that is indeed where she wants to go.
Okay.
So we may see that, you all may see that on stream on Saturday. And I might as well just say that we're doing, this is confirmed, we are doing Hollywood Studios 2 weekends in a row. So a week from this Saturday's, we'll be at 50s Prime Time.
Nice.
So let's have some fun. Let's see if Leah will be there.
Nice. Hopefully she's working that Saturday.
And we've eaten at Mama Melrose's once, and it was very good. And we just keep saying it's been too long. We got to go back.
Yeah, yeah. I could
for reference for people. How would you compare this to Olive Garden?
So I think, Olive Garden has a big menu. So, this restaurant's going to have a smaller menu. I would say it's a step above Olive Garden for sure.
Okay. I just think when you can review Italian food, everybody's kind of had Olive Garden, and I think most people love Olive Garden. So if you can say same, above, below, they can have a little better idea. I put Tony's at Tony's. What's the full name of Tony's? Tony's. I'm blanking.
I don't know. I can't
Chad
remember.
will tell us. Yeah. But Tony's in Magic Kingdom, I feel like that one is on par with Olive Garden.
Okay, and I've had both. I would say if I was ranking the two, I might put Mama above Tony's.
All right, so that sounds about right then.
Yeah.
And I would get the same thing. I love chicken parmesan, so if we go on Saturdays, I will be getting that chicken parmesan as well. How many Mickeys did you give that?
Oh, you know what? The whole week we were there, we didn't rank any of them. I would probably say 4 Mickeys on the chicken parm. Yeah. The only thing is I don't typically like spaghetti in a restaurant because I think they tend to use thin spaghetti, and I don't like thin spaghetti. So that'd be the only drawback for me. If it was a different pasta, I might have ranked it a little bit higher.
I got excited because I thought you were going to say what I was going to say as well. I feel like there's certain things in restaurants that you should not order, and they're in parks, like the Mickey ice cream sandwich. Like I think spaghetti is the same way. Everybody eats spaghetti at home.
Right.
Don't go to a restaurant and order spaghetti. There's so many different Italian choices.
Right.
And I feel like overall, right, for Italian, it's sauce, it's noodles.
Mm-hmm.
You're just asking to get it in cheese. You're getting it in different forms.
Yeah.
I want this form of sauce, noodles, and cheese. No, you should never get spaghetti and meatballs at a restaurant.
So our friend Melanie got Mama's pasta. That looked really good. And then Catherine had the steak. And that was also really good. I tried a little bit of that. So yeah, I would say overall, well worth it there. Let me answer Steve's question. The dining plan does cover some restaurants at Disney Springs. So in the app, you can see which ones are covered by the dining plan and which ones are not. Oh, Tony's, Catherine says it's Tony's Town Square, maybe.
Yes, that's what it is. Tony's Town Square.
So here you see one of the drinks that we had. And then the snacks, I had the tiramisu because I love tiramisu. That was very, very good. Um, we had the chocolate, I think it's cherry chocolate cake. And then that one is the cheesecake. So that was all very good. We kind of, everybody picked something different, which was good. The next day, we were doing Animal Kingdom and then the after hours at Hollywood Studios. So we didn't do a sit down dinner that day. So for lunch, we had Satuli Canteen. Um, I have eaten there once beforehand, but it was nice to go there and have what I feel is a healthier quick serve. You're not having a bunch of fried food and a burger and fries and something like that. So this was very good. I think that's Catherine's on the left, and then she got that nice pineapple drink, which was pretty good, non-alcoholic.
I want to touch it.
And then that was mine on the left there, the shrimp bowl. Very, very good. And I don't remember who had the one on the right there. But I always like.
I don't even know what that is on the right.
Yeah, I don't.
I usually get more of the dish of what's on the left there.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. Maybe Catherine will tell us in chat. Sorry, I thought the videos were quiet. So then we had Le Cellier on Thursday. And that's where I think we really took advantage of the cost of the dining plan because I see that. I put it in there. Le Cellier probably would have been about $90 per person before tip. And so we really took advantage of the dining plan there because it's about $95 a person per day for the dining plan. But if you figure that's a sit down dinner and a quick serve and a snack, you get the value out of it by going to some place like Le Cellier. So all four of us had the filet mignon. Really, really good. I had mine medium well. I think Melanie's might have been rare. And I can't remember how Catherine had hers, but when we all did our sides a little bit differently. I had the mashed potato because I didn't want the what it came with, but it was really enjoyable. The steak was really good. I mean, just really tender. No fat on it at all. So for me, for the money, I think that was worth it for sure. When's the last time you did Le Cellier?
Off the top of my head, I'd say within a 2-year span is when we did it. And I was nodding my head profusely because when you said, these were the really expensive steaks, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you do the dining plan. You try to eat the most expensive things at the most expensive restaurants that you can. That is going to give you your money's worth.
Yep.
So you've heard me say this before, right? I'm not sure what cut of steak you had, but Jill is like the channel's steak connoisseur. And her hope is to have eaten a steak in every Disney World establishment. And she wasn't crazy about the steak in Le Cellier, but it was probably the cut that she had. I don't know what you had. We'd have to ask her what she had if she remembers.
Mm-hmm.
But she liked the steak at Northern Bloom better. And the waiter described this as, in Le Cellier, they serve you cows that live in Canada. American cows are out in Northern Bloom.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why the difference in the taste. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah,
I would go there again. So it's been a couple of years. The atmosphere is nice too, right?
Yeah, atmosphere is nice. The cast members there, they want you to understand, Canada in just your little brief visit. So they go over a lot of, the provinces and all of that, and they talk to you about the food from Canada. So they were really, really nice. Certainly brought us plenty of bread, which is always a good thing for us.
Disney Daddy-O and Melanie both are saying they're making a good point. I'm glad they're pointing that out. Did Le Cellier cost you 2 meals?
It is 2 credits, yes.
Okay.
So that's another reason that we did not have a sit down dinner the day before, because we were using 2 credits that night on Thursday.
And that's how you play the dining plan well too. You know this. So if you know you're going to take 1 or 2 really expensive restaurants, then you just kind of save a sit down.
Right. So minutes ago, sent me a survey. What do we think? So we had, like I said, the filet mignon. I had it with the mashed potatoes and the truffle butter sauce. We also had an Ottawa apple, which is the drink. It's actually Jay's favorite drink. It was the first one he had as a 21-year-old. And the peanut butter chocolate tort, which was really, really good. I might just go in there just to get that.
Do you have a photo of that?
I'll try and bring one up for you.
All right.
Then Friday we did Magic. So we went to Plaza restaurant. Have you been to Plaza?
No, I haven't. We almost did it live on stream recently, but I guess maybe timing wise, I think I could only get on Saturdays. I could only get like an 8:30 or something like that. So we decided no, but it's on our list. Do you recommend it?
I thought it was good. Here's my issue with it. It feels like a sit down quick serve. The menu, the size of the restaurant. So for me, yeah, see, Spencer said Plaza is tiny. It is small. It is a small restaurant. So
I think a lot of people don't even know it's there.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't impressed by it. What did win me over was the service. The cast member that we had was phenomenal. But again, it just felt like a lunch, like a quick serve lunch, not a sit down restaurant. And that's not to say that we didn't use our sit down meals as quick serves. I'll get to that in a minute, but I would not have done that there. For me, I would have went across the street to Crystal Palace and eaten the place out of,
house and home.
Yeah, exactly. But again, you do get a meal, a snack, and a drink. So there I had a bacon cheeseburger, sangria, and a banana split, which I can't tell you the last time I had a banana split. So
20 years plus for me, maybe 30 years. High school might have been the last time.
Oh wow. I used to have. Did you have Mr. Softy in Boston or in Massachusetts?
No, we had Friendlies, and Friendlies is still a thing. So you'd get the Fribbles. I think they had Fribbles. Newport Creamery was one that we had.
Okay.
Little sidetrack there. Every Monday, Tammy and I used to go get the Awful, it was called, at Newport Creamery. And if I remember correctly, it was a strawberry milkshake with bananas and chocolate.
Yeah. Why is it called the Awful?
I don't even know. Like, it's good. It's great. They just called it the Awful. Maybe there's some history on Google.
So Melanie is correcting me. Thank you, Melanie. I don't know why I was thinking burger. I had the crab cake there. And the whole reason I had the crab cake is because I said, well, where am I going to go when I'm going to eat a crab cake? I might as well go ahead and have crab cake there. So they had a crab cake sandwich there. So I had that. Catherine had the turkey club. So yes, very good. Paul had the burger. Thank you. Now that meal would have come to about $49. So again, I think that it was worth it when you look at the places that you're eating and looking at the plan. I do think that it's worth it. If you think about the snacks, right? Every snack is probably $7. The ice cream bars, the ice cream sandwiches, some of the snacks you can buy at the confectionery are all like $7. So you're at least getting that value out of it as well. So I would certainly say it was worth it for us. Speaking of snacks, here's some of the snacks that we got on our credits. So she got the Dole Whip. Catherine got the ice cream. Our last day there, so we kind of used up our credits that we had at the very end. We ended up converting 2 of our sit down dinners to quick serves because we didn't want to spend the time sitting at a sit down dinner. So we converted them to quick serves at the restaurant, which you are allowed to do. Not the best value by any means, but if you are short on time, then you're getting that time back by just having something quick and going. They do allow you to, they throw in the snack for you because it's you're using a sit down meal credit for quick serve, so they will throw in the snack for you sometimes.
Ann Gilnack says, I would rather eat at Crystal Palace.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Crystal Palace is one of my favorites.
I would assume Crystal Palace. I haven't done dining in years now. Is Crystal Palace 2 because it's a buffet?
I'll have to go back and look at that. I don't know that it's
Okay.
2 or 1.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
Nope.
it's interesting since we're talking about dual credits and all that kind of thing. Are the is that the way it is? When the dining plan came out again, we looked at that and figured, well, maybe this would be something that would inspire us to stay on property for a few days and get the dining plan.
Mhm.
Like let's stay on property just so we can use the dining plan and eat at all the pricier restaurants too. I'll look at it again, but when I looked at it when it first came out, I didn't feel like it was worth it for us. But I'm leaving that to you to determine if you thought it was good for you guys, and you don't have to jump to that if you're not there yet, but just something I thought of.
It's similar to a lot of things. Like, for example, your family's probably never going to use Genie Plus, right?
Never. Hold on. Tammy and I had this discussion. We will start investing in that when Jacob is not with us all the time.
Yeah. No, that makes
whenever he starts working, and if he's not there on Saturdays and all that. That was a half a second discussion with Tammy when she knew what I was getting at. I was like, we may not be able to, Saturdays are going to be rough. If Jacob's not with us, or even Jill, to be able to use that DAS. I'm like, do you want to? She's like, oh, we're getting Genie Plus.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting it. I don't even know what it costs, but I'm sure it's just a drop in the bucket for a couple of us to do that on a Saturdays.
Yeah. And it varies just like everything else. But your family's never going to, or I shouldn't say never, but very rarely stay on property. So it's just about, and the people that are going on that once in a lifetime trip that really want sit down dinners, probably worth it for them.
And when we did come down on vacation 3 years in a row from up north, we got the dining plan every time. We wouldn't come unless we had the dining plan.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? For me, and of course you're going to give us your perspective after recently experiencing it. What did I want to say? Disney plays it in two different ways, and I'm sure it still goes this way. But you can tell me if you think it goes this way. But you didn't stay at a Disney. Yeah, you stayed at a Disney resort, so you're
Yeah.
going to be able to. You're going. I don't know if you contrasted and compared this, but if you can do this two ways, you can get a discount, usually 30% off, whatever it is on the resort,
Mm-hmm.
and manage all of your meals on your own, or you can get the dining plan, have the comfort in mind that you don't have to drop a dime on food
Yeah.
in general, but you're going to pay a little bit more. The cost can get hidden into the resort stay. You don't get that 30% off or whatever they're running. It's one or the other is what it was in the past. So it's what's comfortable for you. And we just love the fact that, you know what, I'll pay a little bit more for the resort because I know we're just going to eat really good.
And see, that's the key. Like a lot of people will look at it when they do run the free dining plan and go, "It's free. It's got to be a great value." It may not be. It may not be for you. You might want to take the discounted room over the free dining because guess what? They don't do both, right? When they give you the free dining plan, it's coming out of this pocket of rooms, not this pocket over here that has the discount of 30%. You're paying off the rack rate as they call it. So you got to look at that and weigh those options. If you really want to try different restaurants, absolutely go for it. If you're a foodie and you really want to try the restaurants, absolutely. But you have to weigh that, right? There are some folks that'll go to Disney and bring their snacks and bring, soft coolers into the park, and that's how they're going to eat, lunch. They're going to have Pop Tarts in the morning, and they're going to have lunch, and they're going to go, or maybe they're going to go back to the resort and have lunch that they made. It's okay. There's different ways to do Disney. So the dining plan is certainly out there, and somebody mentioned that they like knowing their food's taken care of. All they got to do
Same.
is
We
decide
did
where
too.
to eat. Their food is taken care of. It's paid for. And if I think about it that way, I don't think we really spent a lot of money at the parks other than the tip. You do have to remember that the tip is not included in the dining plan. So if you're going to tip, you need to budget for that.
That's a great thing to mention. Yeah. Forget what I was going to add to that now, but keep going. I'll remember.
Yeah. So you mentioned about it being included in the room, and it's kind of hidden then, right? And then you're paying for your, let's say you book it a year out, and you're making the payments on your trip, on your package. Well, now you're also paying on your food as well. So it is another way to save, although it may be a little bit more costly. You are saving because you're paying on it over time. So yeah, it's a great option. Would we do it again? I could see us doing it again. I don't know if we would do the full plan. I'm thinking we might do the quick serve plan next time just to see how that one compares.
That's interesting, right? You have to decide what would work for you. You have to sit and imagine that. So there's reasoning why you think you might do quick serve instead. I imagine it's more of we get more time in the parks rather than just sitting.
Yeah.
And just know your restaurants, look at them. What's quick serve? What's sit down? What do we really want to get out of our, if I was planning this, I would do it like that. I would sit down, look at every park, make a list of the restaurants that you want to eat at.
Mm-hmm.
Then decide, okay, I'm just going to throw a number out there. I have 7 sit downs and I have 9 quick services. Okay, let's really look at them. Okay, maybe we eliminate this one and this one here and then this one here, and that's kind of where we want to be. That might guide you a little easier to where you feel like you want to be and what package to choose.
Right.
I would recommend that you are crazy if you get the 3 sit downs.
Yeah, there's no way.
3. Number one, you're going to lose time in the park. And we had this plan. we had it by accident. So our travel agent messed up. And of all the confusion and frustration surrounding that situation, it ended up, she's like, you know what, you guys, I think she ended up giving it to us for the cost of like yours, like one sit down, one quick service,
Okay.
one refillable cup, and a snack. And we tried to stick to it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
If you're up in the morning and you eat at 9, we usually on vacation we would usually eat at like 9:30 ish, and that, we'd sit down and we'd eat that. Even that though, correct me if I'm wrong, if we were eating at one of the All Stars, that's a quick service. That's not a sit down.
Yeah, that's quick
So
serve.
right already we're behind the 8 ball. We didn't use a sit down for
Right.
breakfast.
Right.
Most days. I think there were a few breakfasts we did make sure we had. So then you eat at 9:30, you're making your way around the parks. Now you have to go do another sit down. If you eat that and you eat at like 3, well, not even 3. If you're like, you're not even that hungry and it's noon and you're like, okay, we got to go sit down again. And then if you eat at 5 or 5:30, you're still not so super hungry that you can take down another sit down meal. It is totally not worth it. I'd love to hear from anybody in the comments afterwards or in chat if you have ever taken the max dining plan and if it worked for you. I can't imagine it working for anybody.
And if you think about it, right, I think on average, most of those sit down meals are 90 minutes. So you're talking about 4.5 hours. I'll give you 4 hours. Let's say at least 4 hours sitting down eating. And in a day where you're doing, even if you were at the parks at 9 a.m., you're eating a lot of your time by sitting down eating. Even for me, sometimes we're in the parks, a quick serve. I'm like, can we just eat this as we walk? Because we got to get to the next ride. So, I would think it's not beneficial for a lot of people to have that 3 sit down plan. And actually, I don't even think that's offered now. I think it's just a quick serve or the full plan of one table service.
Okay, so because things have changed, the dining plan did not come back 100% the way it was. So
Correct.
Sounds like that was one of the changes that they made. Good, because it just doesn't even make sense.
No.
I mean,
No.
I don't know if they offered it thinking, well, we could make more money on this one. I don't even know, but and maybe obviously they didn't make money on it, so that's why it didn't come back.
Maybe, yeah.
And I would admit this, for us, we did our snacks so wrong. And I don't know if other people do this, but I'm a creature of habit and I like to sit down, and one of the final things I do at night is have that sweet snack.
Mhm.
And so if you think about it, you're in the Disney parks, you have a snack to spend. I always spent it back at the resort. All right, let me get a nice chocolatey snack and take it to the room.
Okay.
Which is fine. I was happy with that. And I don't even think I realized how many snack options there are in the parks. So knowing that, I would have done it so differently. I would have just brought something from home or bought something at the resort to kind of store in the room for later.
Yep.
And I would have gotten those Dole Whips and the Mickey bars and all that.
Right.
We really didn't get those snacks. We didn't spend for snacks in the parks when we were on vacation.
I remember, I don't remember what day it was, but I remember saying to Catherine and Melanie, I don't want to use the snack credits on like the gummy bears. Like that's not what this is for. Like we got to use it on something else. So, ice cream, Dole Whips, all that type of stuff. The stuff at the confectionery.
Yes.
I think I used one actually on the peanut butter. What is
Peanut
it?
butter cookie pie?
Yeah, the peanut butter cookie pie that I brought home for Mom. I used one of the snack credits on that.
Exactly. And that's my advice to people. That's the way to use it. Use it during the day or use it on your way out, I think Magic's a perfect place to save your snack for on the way out.
Yeah.
Grab something at the confectionery, bring it back with you. And for me, I don't even, hey, the stream sees me buy these peanut butter cookie pies, but it's not like I go home and destroy one in one sitting. Like, it literally takes me at least 3 nights to finish one peanut butter cookie pie. I don't take a ton. I take a little slice, throw some whipped cream on it, and call it good. So that on vacation could last me a couple nights, 2 or 3 nights right there back at the resort. So yeah, don't do your snacks wrong. I did. The other thing I can think of the dining plan is, compared to saving on the resort, you can do it and you can really make out, but you're not going to end up eating at a lot of places that you would if you had the dining plan. That's the way I think. So, for example, maybe you'll pay for one really good sit down or 2. But with the dining plan, you're going to sit at a bunch of great restaurants.
Right.
But if you're looking to come ahead and you don't get the dining plan and you get like the 30% off the resort, you're going to have to really watch your money. You're going to eat a lot of burgers.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to eat a lot of chicken fingers.
Yeah.
You're going to go to the ABC commissary and have that buffalo chicken, sandwich with fries, which is great. But you're going to look to cut the cost there.
And like for us, when I think about, like you talked about chicken fingers, so that made me think of Finley. I couldn't see us getting the full dining plan with Finley. The value would not be there, because she's not going to sit down and eat, $95 worth of food every day. So I could see us doing the quick serve. She'll get chicken fingers, and the kids' menu is on there, but I couldn't see doing the full one with her. So you have to look at it and see. One thing that Melanie did before we went was she looked at each of the menus at each of the restaurants that we might go to decide, should we do it? Is it worth it? And then where should we go? So it was very well planned out as to what we were going to do, and really to get our money's worth out of the dining plan. So it does take a little bit of prep, and then certainly she made the reservations at 60 days out.
I don't mind at all. We used to plan everything to a T, and there's people, that say, I don't like to plan everything, where I'm going, but I just think you maximize your experience. If we just narrow it down to what we're talking about tonight, if you really plan out where you're going to eat, I think it just makes things worry-free. You don't have to think about it. You just know you have to be at whatever restaurant at a certain time and just go enjoy, rather than fly by the seat of your pants, or, let me see if there's a reservation for such and such tonight,
Yeah.
So, and also, if you're on the dining plan and you don't get a restaurant that you really wanted, I'm telling you, if you're willing to have a little leeway in the time that you eat, I will almost guarantee that on the day of, you're going to get anything you want. You might have to be willing to tap the app for an hour, but you will get something, because there's going to be people out there that wake up and decide, you know what, we can't go to this, or we're not going to do this now, and people cancel all the time. So, like, for me, there's places I want to go, and I think of it, and I'll try now here and there, but I really put the heat on the night before and the morning of. I always get to eat where I want to eat.
Yeah, that with the way the app is now, and the way that you can cancel 2 hours prior with no penalty, you can find some last minute dining pretty easily. In fact, the virtual queue, by the way, for Guardians was open until like 5:00 today.
Which one was?
Guardians.
Oh, God. Why does that always happen when I'm not there?
I know. So like right now, I'm looking. It is 8:17. Ohana's available at 9:20. Be Our Guest available at 9:20.
Wow.
Beaches and Cream, California Grills, Chef Mickey's available at 9:20. Cinderella's Royal Table. You want to go to Cinderella's Royal Table tonight? 10:45. Late dinner, but you can still get in. And that's because people can cancel within 2 hours. So if you're a planner, great. But if you don't find that one that you really want, you can wait it out and see if you end up getting lucky. I did want to correct something. So there is I said that Finley wouldn't eat $95 worth of food a day. There is a lower cost for kids 3 to 9. So, maybe it might be worth it for us. I'd have to look at that.
It cracks me up in Disney that kids or adults are 10 years old.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Spencer says you can reschedule 2 hours prior, then cancel a reservation, correct?
I have done that. I don't remember if I've done that since the 2-hour window started, but I have done that back when it was 24 hours that you had to cancel.
If I understand him correctly, I think you can. Right?
Yeah,
you can cancel.
I believe so. So you could, what time is it? So if you had a 9 o'clock reservation, you could modify it to 10:30 and then go in and cancel it. But
which is what I almost had to do when we almost backed out of sci-fi.
Sci-fi, yeah. Weird.
And that was a weird thing. Sci-fi, like I just looked now or a little bit ago, and sci-fi was not available for this Saturday, in case Tammy wanted that as an option, but nothing for that. But that Saturday that I went, we had the choice of like 15 times.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But they did all go away by the time I entered the restaurant. There were no more reservations.
Yeah, sci-fi is probably one of the it's probably harder to get than Brown Derby in Hollywood studios.
Oh yeah, I think so. And here's a pro tip for you, everyone. This is pro tip number 492. And the pro tip is boy, I'm forgetting a lot of things tonight. Now I just went blank. What was I going to say about that? God, I forgot.
Talking about sci-fi and Brown Derby.
Yeah, with sci-fi, I'm trying to remember. I lost it. Maybe it'll come back to me.
All right.
I'll look it up. It's in the book.
So the question from Purple Pleasure is, what is the penalty if you don't cancel in time and don't go to the restaurant? $10 per person.
Yeah, that I didn't know until we were planning on canceling sci-fi. That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad. I thought it was more. I thought it was like $50.
No, $10 per person.
So that's good.
Yeah. And then with Royal Table and is it Be Our Guest also? I think you prepay those.
Yes. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you cancel, then they just give it back to you, right?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, Hoop-de-Doo's like that. So, and I have that's a restaurant that. What's that?
Hoop-de-Doo was available today when I looked at it earlier.
I have rarely seen that available, but I'll tell you what. There is something big in the works for the channel this coming early summer, and it may involve that on the channel. So there's a little teaser there. So good things coming.
I like it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it is later. It's
Okay.
gonna be good.
All right.
I think it's gonna happen. We have to nail these things down, but there's some great plans for a Saturdays coming up.
Very
It will
cool.
be different. It'll be different. So did we tackle everything?
I think so. Like I said, it really depends on you. I would certainly want to try the quick serve version next time and see how that worked out. But I am really glad that we did it and got to try some different restaurants that I couldn't see me booking Le Cellier without the dining plan. So just for that alone, I would say it was worth it for us.
That's awesome. Let's go inside the parks. Well, I mean, this week was way more way more of you than me. Uh,
Oh,
I don't even know what I did. What did we do on Saturday? Oh, Universal.
yeah.
So that's quick. We did Universal and had a good time. We did try a little bit of food over there for Mardi Gras and liked everything that we tried.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we ate over at the Germany booth and we got everything. And you liked what you had. I
Yeah,
liked what I had.
I would get that again for sure.
Yeah, same here. If you want to see the details on that, just go over to the channel and look up the Mardi Gras Universal stream, and you can see what we ate and see what we thought about all of that. But we're telling you, it was good. We did the parade, and listen, I didn't enjoy the parade as much from that spot. I'll never stand in that spot again. I didn't like it. Was it dangerous? Maybe a little bit, maybe a little, because it was dark enough over there. I couldn't see the beat. I couldn't look at the streaming screen.
Yeah.
And my eyes adjust fast enough to the beads flying around us.
Same.
And normally, I always say, being a former baseball player, I had good hands, and I still have good hands, and I can grab a lot of beads while streaming. I can switch hands, grab them, and I just couldn't get a beat on where they were, because what I actually do a lot of times is, once I know the camera is focused on the people that are throwing the beads, and we're getting a good shot of the float, I will look more up into the sky, and I feel like I can see them better as they just launch into the sky. I can see them and get a good read at where they're going to land.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do that over there. The street is too tight. And we noticed that when we were walking down Hollywood Boulevard later. Remember that? I was like, look at how much space is between the float and the sidewalk. So it has more time to travel. You have more reaction time.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it over there. But the one thing I liked more than, well, I liked the parade because the parade's great. But I just didn't like that location. And we went vertical for the first time. We did a vertical side by side with a horizontal. And that was a test that we did. And I think we'll have to, just let people know when we do it what we're trying to achieve. And one more time, what we're trying to achieve with that is it's new technology from YouTube, and you can run 2 streams at once. One's vertical, one's horizontal. Of course, we always run horizontal on our channel, but running a side-by-side for about an hour or so every stream, or when we can, should be beneficial, because it's going to bring in the community of people on YouTube that like to just flip shorts and reels.
Right.
But what it also gives to all of you who are so dedicated and just watching our regular live stream is it gives you a different angle. And I'm really looking forward to doing this on Saturdays with whoever has it's I think over time it's just going to be a combination of who has the secondary stream.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Tammy holding the secondary stream, it could be me, it could be Jacob, whatever it is, Jill. I'm thinking like things like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. When we're on it, let's give you 2 angles.
Right.
Let's give you one side of the stream and another side of the stream, the left, the right view, that kind of thing. So you'll get multi-angles while live. So I'm looking forward to adding that to our repertoire. I don't think I mentioned that to you, but it's another thing I thought of.
Well, there were a couple things that stuck out to me that night doing that was there were times when I was focused on the floats that were coming, and you were still focused on the floats that had passed.
Perfect.
So, okay, well, there's two different scenes for everybody. So we were playing it up and saying, Corey's on camera A and I'm on camera B. But the other thing that stuck out, there were the 2 things for me. Number one is the viewers got more of a behind the scenes. Right. And I just kind of did that. Hey, there's Corey. See how this is how he streams. This is what he's looking at. Well, people seem to love that. And that's very true. Truth be told, there ain't no channel with more technology than Living in Diz. He's 100% right. I found that out this week. And so the other thing was that Catherine, who was watching only on her phone, normally, like she's watching right now, she's watching on the TV or on her laptop. But we were at the resort, so she only had her phone. And so the vertical gave her full screen, whereas if she was watching um, your horizontal stream on the phone, she's only getting a little snippet. So there's a couple good reasons to do that. And like you said, a lot of people will discover Living in Diz on the vertical and then come over and watch the horizontal with all of you.
That's the ultimate goal. And as we go along, we're just thinking of other things that are cool and reasons to keep it, like the multi-angle for the rides, that kind of thing. And for that matter, we probably don't even have to restrict ourselves to going live one time. Like, okay, we'll go for about an hour, we'll put it away. Like,
Right.
why not be like, hey, tonight we're doing multi-angle fireworks.
Hmm.
This is just coming off my head right now.
That was one of the first things I thought was the fireworks.
I love ideas. OMG. Y'all hate it for community. God, whatever. Everybody, we come up with these ideas and we do get copied a lot, and it's but
This one's going to be harder
yes.
to copy.
It's going to be harder to copy. It's going to be harder to copy. If anybody, not that we own the rights to it, so other people can do it.
Yeah.
But and we're never trying to be the first to do things either. We can make that clear. But we jump on things because I always want the best for our viewers and our channel, and this is just the latest thing. So I think, let me think, when am I at Magic again? Let's try to coordinate this. That if Neil is with me on Monday night, let's do Happily Ever After from the Carousel and from Main Street.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Done.
And
that's a done deal.
There's still other things that are in the bag.
All right, let's talk about it later. That'd be great.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, D comes in. Welcome to the podcast. D says, let's put him up here. Says, yeah, if you like Disney, but as a coaster enthusiast, the money is more well spent on an annual pass to Busch Gardens and SeaWorld. Now, listen, huge Disney lovers here, but I'm going to agree with D.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely true. Disney has more of the technology, cutting edge coasters, things you're not going to find anywhere else. But if you straight up love coasters, that is the place to go. The only reason why we've never gone to Busch Gardens, and we've done SeaWorld, and Tammy's so good, she would give in and just come and sit half the day while we rode these coasters. But I just don't want her to sit around too much because she doesn't do coasters. So we never really go and do those. But I totally agree with you, D.
Yep.
So that was inside the parks for Universal, and from there you kind of took over.
Yeah. So if we go back to the first day, which was Tuesday, we did Hollywood Studios. Had a pretty decent day there. That was the day we were able to help Laura out and get to see her family member in Fantasmic. And then Wednesday we did Animal Kingdom, which I really I wasn't planning on doing Animal Kingdom that day because we were going to do the Hollywood After Hours. But Catherine thought it would be good for everybody to see the outfits that we were doing, all of our Disney bounding. And so they wouldn't have been able to see the Animal Kingdom one had we not gone live. So we went live for a little bit. We did the safari. I was brave enough to do Everest and stream Everest, which was interesting for me. And then Wednesday night, we went to Hollywood Studios. And there were no issues at Hollywood Studios at all. No, there were no ride breakdowns.
Super smooth?
No, super smooth. So the first ride we tried to do was Mickey and Minnie's. And we got to almost to turn into Daisy's dance studio. Lights come on. Ride stops immediately. And I was like, oh yeah, this is full stop. Because lights came all the way on. And so we had to walk out of Mickey and Minnie's. We had to walk all the way back to the front. And they did give us a lightning lane for it. So we're like, okay, let's go to Rise. So we get on Rise, get through the transporter, and we're getting ready to go into the interrogation room. Cast member says, rides down. So we had to walk out that same place that you had to walk out that at the end of the hallway there. And so I was starting to think after hours is not going to go the way we wanted to. But then after that, things went pretty smoothly. We got on Tower of Terror twice, Slinky Dog, Mania we did twice. I think we did it once on stream and once after. So we've really had a good night, even though we did have those two issues. But Disney did make up for it, gave us all lightning lanes, and we were able to use them the next day since the park had technically closed at that point. So we were able to use them the next day, which was great. So we used them at Epcot. I did 2 streams that night or that day. And brought Luminous to everybody, which it's my favorite show, favorite fireworks show right now. So was able to bring everybody to Luminous. We didn't do it on stream, but we did Mission Space that day. And I've only done Mission Space once in my life, back in 2020.
Did you do it on stream?
I did not. I did it off stream. So we met up with Neil and we did Mission Space with Neil and Alyssa. And then Friday we did Magic. Had a good day. I think we started right at the parade, so we were able to catch the parade. We were able to catch the cavalcade. We even caught the hoedown, and Catherine and Melanie had a ball out there. So we had a good time. We did have some hiccups as we talked about technology. Sometimes it can not be your friend, especially when you're new to streaming like I am. And so Haunted took my stream all the way down. I had to turn my phone off and restart my phone to bring it back up. So it was interesting. So there's definitely some learning curves, and I forget who it was that asked. It might have been Courtney. She asked, "Is streaming hard?" And I said, "Yeah." Streaming
like
is
broken
not,
down.
Picking up a phone and going for it. There's a lot to it, especially when you put as much into it as Living in Diz does.
You sounded like a broke man. Yes, it is hard.
Oh, if you saw me in the parks, you'd have been like, "Oh my God, I've never seen him like that." Yeah,
What's funny? I think about it, and how difficult it is in the beginning, and you've done an amazing job for someone who had zero experience. It's like you grow every time, and it's fun to watch to see you grow. And I mean, I was comfortable enough to leave you alone on Friday and rarely even check in, and just feel like, okay, I've got a day off, a chance
right,
to be off from everything.
right.
So I did that. And this is our baby. We would not trust that with anybody who, wouldn't be capable, and you're certainly capable of it. We appreciate it so
Well, I
much.
appreciate that.
But I think about the difficulties, and people ask me if it's difficult. I mean, of course it is, but when you've done it as long as I have, or as long as anyone else has, and you're good at it, it's second nature. Like it's easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
The only time it's not easy for me is if I'm just having a heck of a signal problem, and I'm battling that. Otherwise, if signal's decent, it's walking, talking, balancing, the crowd and reading the chat and doing all those things. It's just totally second nature. I almost feel like I'm not even doing it.
And I'll say this. So one of the reasons that I wanted to do that is so that we could bring Living in Diz to people that are looking for Disney in the afternoon, right? Because most of the time we're getting Living in Diz at night because Corey works. So I was on vacation, so I figured, well, let's do a little bit during the day. And then, when I was having some issues, especially on Friday, I really thought about just hanging it up and just putting in chat, "Sorry, stream's gone. See you tomorrow." But I knew that there were people wanting Disney, and I battled through it. and we ended up, once we came back, I think we had a pretty good night the rest of the night. So, learning curves for sure.
Yes. That's great that you battled back and you had a better time later. And we would have totally been fine if you would have decided to pack it in as well. No need to be frustrated on your vacation. We would have been totally fine with that too. But that's me when I am streaming. If there's any way possible that I can bring a stream back if I'm having an issue, I'm fighting. I might do the same procedure to get the stream back, 15 times, but
Yeah.
I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah.
Maybe at the 15th, I'm like, okay, it's time to call it. And I've only done that at the end of the night anyway. The most recent one I can think of is coming out of Islands of Adventure a few months back. You remember that? And
I do.
we were walking towards that zone. As you get close to like the Chocolate Emporium and you get close to Hard Rock, you can have a little snag of lag right there. And I started saying, even, I think, like, hey, everyone, we may have a little bit of lag. And then boom, like it was out and I could not get that stream back. Now, through experience, I think that was with Prism, that with Prism, you just have to totally shut that stream, the app down and come back and you could bring it back. And then I was like, you know what? We're about to end anyway. I hate saying goodnight to everyone in the chat. Like, we're just not going to come back.
Yeah.
But we did that, and that leaves a bad taste in my mouth till I get live again.
Yeah, absolutely. But excuse me, I enjoy it, and I think that you would think that that it's a one-way relationship, right? That the viewers are getting everything out of it, but that's not true. It is. I enjoyed streaming this week as much as everybody enjoyed watching and talking and interacting in the community that is here. That's all of you that are right now watching this and more. And so I really enjoy it. And 2 years ago would not have even thought of this. Even a year ago, I mean, I wasn't even on the podcast. We didn't even start this until June. So certainly wouldn't have thought about it, but it has certainly been amazing.
And that's what I always say too. Being able to just, I feel like, yes, I'm carrying a gimbal, but I feel like I'm carrying hundreds of people in my hand, and I'm getting to take you around and show you these amazing things.
Yep.
And my joy, a lot of you can't. Of course, I'm not on camera a lot, but when I'm streaming a ride, my eyes are wide. They're wide open, and there's a smile on my face most of the time, just taking in the ride with all of you. And I just think, wow, I love Disney this much that I'm sharing it. I'm smiling because I'm on Small World again, and I'm just looking out for things maybe I haven't seen before, or just enjoying the things that I love seeing every time. It's definitely an unbelievable experience, and it works both ways, like you said.
Yeah.
Shannon Woods in chat is really vying for some mission space. Well, let me zero in on you, Shannon. Since you've asked for that, I've probably done mission space 2 or 3 times. Where have you been? Where have you been? So we do it more often, thanks to you for asking, and we do. So any Epcot stream, stay tuned, because if the opportunity's there, we're going to do it. Now, if I have a plan, then maybe we can't, of things we want to get done, but we've been doing mission space. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Yeah, the gimbal is heavier. Jennifer L says the gimbal is heavier than you'd expect. Yes, especially when you're carrying 2 phones on it. Yes.
Poor Jennifer, she did the World Showcase walkthrough, and she held the gimbal maybe halfway through the countries, and she's the only traveler with us to do that wasn't part of the channel, and she did a good job. Poor girl was sweating. It was so heavy. Arm was shaking and everything.
Yeah, do that for 6 hours. Oof.
Yeah. So Crew It Up says, I held that gimbal for 5 minutes one time, Lawrence, and I was mentally done at 2 minutes. You did awesome last week.
Thanks, Crew. Thank you.
All right. Have we said it all, done it all tonight?
I think so. I think so. Hopefully, we answered all the questions about the dining plan. If you think of others, you feel free to email us or ask us next week. Next week will be another part of our trip recap. This one was all about food. Next week's going to be all about clothes. We'll talk about Disney bounding, and you'll get to see all of our outfits, and you'll get to see us meeting Donald and Daisy and a few others.
Nice. And that answers Grandma Grover's question. Do you have pictures of your outfits? And we'll see those next week.
Yeah.
Jennifer says that gimbal is heavier. Oh, it just disappeared. She said, oh, I lost it. Oh, she says that gimbal is heavier than you'd expect.
Mhm.
Yeah, after a while, Tammy's like, take this gimbal. It's a little too heavy. Corey, the joy is palpable. And actually, chat keeps jumping on me. Where did that one go? That's good, though. That means chat is moving. I can't find it now.
There you go.
Where is it? Thank you. Corey, the joy is palpable and actual satisfactual. Very nice. And I like to call out active viewers in chat, and I'm going to thank Nanny Pooh Bear tonight for coming on the scene recently and just being so active and positive in chat. None of that goes unnoticed, so we appreciate you. Mrs. Billy Glenn says, I enjoyed popping in last week during the day to watch Lawrence and the lovely Catherine. So much fun. Thank you, LID. You're very, very welcome, and we are lucky to have Lawrence to do that. We're waiting on Neil. When Neil gets his new equipment, he told me himself he'll do some streams here and there during the day, so there'll be a fixated time where you will get some LID during the day.
I like that idea.
Yes, and let's blast the chat before we go for Steve Bullock and Tony, who just dropped a gift, and that was picked up by, I didn't catch who, Becky Musselwhite. Congratulations.
Oh, boy.
With that, you get your name highlighted in green. You get all the exclusive emojis. You get the admission to the Members Only podcast that happens just before this podcast at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And you get a name in the credits at the end of future live streams and much more. So enjoy, and we're always so appreciative of that support. And tonight it comes from Steve and Tony. And let's hit up our sponsor quick, and we'll be right back.
Looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard? Victor Naraki is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate LLC. He is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 13 years of experience in the vacation home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So why wait? Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with him today. Your dream home is just a click away. If you're
Victor would also like to make a change with that, which I'm going to have to re-record. But rather than go to DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com from now on, we're going to direct everybody to celebratingflorida@gmail.com. Yeah,
Nice.
he'd rather y'all do that. So great, another great and fun podcast, my friend. Do you have a quote for us on the way out?
I didn't pull one up. So while I was in the show, I was thinking about it because I don't think I said it at all last week. So I'm going to thank Disney for allowing us to stream, because streaming is a privilege and not a right. So thank you, Disney.
Words well spoken. We will finish with a poll that we did during the stream, and it was, have you done the Disney dining plan? And 48% of you said yes, 41% said no, and 10% said not yet, but hope to. So interesting feedback. Almost a 50-50. So
Yeah.
interesting for sure. All right, everyone. We'll be back next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Members Only podcast. We will finish our challenge, the characters meet and greet challenge for the members only, and our Zoom call. If you're listening to this live or before this coming Thursday, the 21st of March, 2024, we have our Zoom call, our legendary Zoom call is tomorrow night for our members of Skyliner in Monorail on either Patreon or YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody hasn't done that, I encourage you to even just do it once. Do it once and see if you love it so much you might want to stay. You just have to, if you're whatever member you are or not a member, just sign up for Skyliner, $10 one time, and see if you love it. We genuinely have an amazing time. There's an average of 10 of us at least on screen at all times, and it's growing and growing. And we're all here just like this. Lawrence can see me, I can see him, we can talk. Grandma Grover comes in, Ann Gilnack, Andy, Jen W, Pamela V, Allison, Sharon, and Susie Q, Ruben G. There's so many of you, and if I didn't mention,
we'll go to Epcot during a Zoom call.
Oh, that was so funny. Listen, we'll tell you all a quick story on the way out. So Spencer was on, and he was home. He lives really close. He lives so close to Disney that he lives in the backyard of the safari at Animal Kingdom. And he was on the Zoom call, and Grandma Grover was visiting Epcot that night, and she didn't want to miss the Zoom call. So she was sitting on her scooter in Epcot, and she went on her phone, and she participated in the Zoom call. And she was looking for the Nitro Mickey bar because I talked so much about it. And Spencer was like, I'm going there. I'm going to be right there. I'm going to show you where the Mickey bar is, and we're going to have a Mickey bar together. And within minutes, Spencer was in Epcot, and he was sharing treats with Grandma Grover. And those are the kind of cool things that you can see on the Zoom call. That doesn't happen all the time, but people join from their phones wherever they are. They don't want to miss it. Steve Bullock is always there with Tony and so many more of you. And we love it. It's supposed to go an hour, and it's so good that it goes at least 3. I'll warn you all, Neil is coming to the Zoom call tomorrow night, I believe. So get your sleeping bags, get your pillows. It's going to be a night.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the 3-hour opening act for Neil. Then Neil comes in.
Yep, exactly.
For a 2-hour recap. Yep. We love Neil. We love his words. He always speaks words of wisdom.
Certainly
And talking to him on the phone is like talking to my brother. Like, I call with an agenda, and I only get 5% of it usually. And he's like, okay, I got to let you go. Okay, but I didn't say what I wanted to say. Neil is great. All right. By the way, love your shirt, says Catherine. This is an LID exclusive, DizPod exclusive, made by the wardrobe, made by the great Catherine herself, Catherine the Great. So, and Ann Gilnack says, a 4 or 5 hour night tomorrow. Yes. Ricardo, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Like and subscribe, my friend. And yeah, that's it. So for the DizPod, everyone, I'm Corey.
And I'm Lawrence.
And we're the DizPod, everybody. We'll see you next week. Next live stream in the parks is Saturdays, just a few days from now. It's going to be Tammy's birthday stream. So come on in. Wish Tammy happy birthday. She's 21 again for the 5th time. And no, she's beautiful. She looks like she's 25. And that's it. We'll see you all next week, everyone. Have a good rest of your night if you're listening live.
People living over any